Hello and welcome back. We are still in Makuri Island, and this time we are on the Kappa Quest Reverse. Unfortunately, I just completed the Kappa Quest, but as I did once before, I forgot to hit the record button. So yeah, unfortunately that is lost. But so this time we're gonna tackle the Temple KOM from reverse. Also the lead-in for this particular ride is quite long with 5K and we will go up the Temple KOM twice. One time essentially for the lead-in, then we do a loop through the villages and then go up it one more time for a total of 14K and about 250 vertical meters or so. Yeah, it's a shame that I was not hitting the button because as I always do, I was chatting along nicely and you know, putting some knowledge out there. But yeah, anyways, it's that's the way it goes. As you can tell, I'm not at all professional when it comes to uploading videos. There's also essentially no editing other than cutting or trimming a little bit from the front and from the back. But hopefully this will get better with time. We'll also hopefully in the future try to use some appropriate thumbnails and some proper titles for the videos. This is all, again, just at the very beginning of our YouTube journey. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out and send a message, leave a comment. Of course, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button, or the YouTube write-on as I like to call it. And yeah, hopefully we'll make more content, better content as the days, weeks, months, and hopefully years pass by. Let me just adjust the screen a little bit so it goes full screen. All right. Yeah, I was before just talking about the 2 routes that we already finished, which was the Spirit Forest. I think it was the Spirit Forest and the Kappa Quest. And no, I think the Spirit Forest might be the last. Yeah, I think the Spirit Forest is the one that is after this one, the last one that is open. Yeah, the first one we did today was this 3 village loop. Just a very short, I think 9K or so, that that we did essentially as a warm-up, some 20 odd minutes, and then we did the Kappa Quest. Again, sorry for not hitting that record button. That took us about some 50 some minutes, because we end on the KOM, but then of course we take all the downhill because it's essentially free XP points. We take that as well. So we ended up having, I think, 15K instead of the or 14K. Anyways, we did at least 1.5 Ks more than finishing on the Temple KM. Yeah, I really enjoy that view, this panning shot across the lake. Very beautifully done. All right, as before, we are trying to settle in at about 130 watts, which we are quite far away from right now. Yeah, simply because it hasn't really been going uphill yet. But I'm sure we'll be getting close to those 130 watts. And yeah, you might wonder where this number comes from, but one of the things, I use a Garmin watch, Garmin Epix Generation 2, and so every morning it'll tell me what it thinks I should do. And yesterday it was telling me, please do 3 hours of endurance riding at 130 watts. And so I think in total we did maybe 2.5 hours or so. And today the watch was just telling me, please do 67 minutes of 130 watt riding. And yeah, since I'm not as smart as my watch, I tend to just believe it and say, why not? And with the warm-up of some 20-something odd minutes, and then the first Kappa Quest ride that took about 50-something odd minutes, we should be done with our with our goal for today. So what we do now is actually on top, and I think what we might do is that we take this right here as yet another 130 watt endurance ride, easy peasy going. But then the last one, if the muscles respond, we might kick it up a little bit and try to attack whatever climb is in there. So the Spirit Forest, I apologize, but I'm not fully aware of which route it's going to take, or which, maybe it includes the Temple KOM. And on the forward section, I think we have like 4 or 5, 6 times that we went up this climb. We did it earlier today twice at about 16 minutes or so, and we did it once before in 13 something minutes. But again, it must have been at the time when we were either relaxing or somewhat relaxing. And if there's a chance for us to improve upon our personal best, then of course we'll do that. And what I was also mentioning in what I thought would have been the previous video was that we did change our setup on the kicker bike, where we used to run a 2x drivetrain with a compact chain set, or chain set, I guess so, 50 bar and 34. and especially on the very steep sections, Alpe Zwift, and partially in New York, we found ourselves in the lowest gear, grinding away at 70 RPM and still putting out more than 200 watts. And since there's no weight penalty here, it might make sense to choose a 3x instead. And this is what I did now. So I'll, of course, try to stay on the middle ring in the front, which I think is a 40, 42. And our rear cassette is a, I think, 10x33. Yeah, so with having one more ring in the front that goes at 30, we feel a little bit more confident that even the steepest sections on any of the climbs available here on Zwift, that we can tackle those. But we shall see. I did find it a little bit easier on this particular climb here. And now we're getting into the forest climb. So I wonder if the Spirit Forest, I would assume it goes up to Temple KOM from here, because this was called the forest climb. So Spirit Forest would make me believe that we might attack the Temple KOM from the same side, but who knows? If so, then we will try to better our time that we are doing this time in the last ride for this session. All right. It's still called the Temple KOM. It's shorter than from the other side. From the other side, we have about 2.5K. From here, just a little less than 2. Meaning should be able to get up this climb a little bit quicker. At the 130-ish watts, it took us about 16 minutes from the other side. So let's see what we can do here. So there is a ghost avatar, which I assume means that I have been up this climb. Oh yeah, I have twice. 7:55 and 8:04. I think one of those rides must have been during a race, because that seems rather fast. So I'm not quite sure if we will be able to better that today. But as always, does not really matter. We're just here to have some fun, to get better, improve our endurance, improve our climbing prowess, our riding abilities. And with some vertical meters under our belt, we're also getting closer to one of our goals for this year, which is the to unlock the Tron bike. So I think we are at maybe 20,000 vertical meters or so. And we are aiming that every session we do for maybe around 500 or more vertical meters. And if we complete Makuri Island today, then we should have a total of maybe 850 or so meters, which would be nice. So we expect the climb to take roughly maybe 13 minutes at the power we are putting out. That's actually just a guess, because it is a little bit shorter from this side than from the other, by about 20%. So if we say we take away 20% from the 16 minutes, we had on the forward KOM, then we end up with, what is that? Just a little over 3 minutes down. Yeah, 13 minutes-ish. Maybe a little bit less. We'll see. I really love the world here on Zwift. Really makes you feel like you're riding through the forest. Then the implementation of climbing being linked to your bike, it changing the incline depending on whether or not you go uphill or downhill. Yeah, it's just really, really nicely done. On the other side, I think when getting into the climb, so in our case now, at the end when we are descending on the other side, there is a nice area where there's just yellow leaves everywhere. It just looks stunningly beautiful. Okay, maybe 4 more bends, and then we are at the top of the climb. Best time set today, sub 6 minutes by Mr. or Mrs. Dunn. That's quite impressive. All right. So now only 3 more bends. And yeah, now I do remember this was actually part of a race. Hence my time of like 8 minutes. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, now we're already at 8 minutes. So I'm pretty sure we'll come out at, I don't know, 13 minutes or so. The guy who just overtook us, he's probably from 3R Racing. They also have their own race series on Zwift, which I did participate in some months ago. It's actually quite nice, not too long, but very fast pace. All right, I think maybe I was just thinking, oh, maybe I was a little bit too optimistic with 13 minutes, but it now looks like we'll be doing it in about 12, a little over 12. Fine. And then we go downhill and do the whole thing again. Yeah, I think I do like the reverse, like this one here, a little bit better, simply because it's a shorter climb. Yeah, I'm definitely not a climber, not yet anyways. I of course will really try to improve upon my climbing abilities, because this is where I found my biggest weakness to be in racing. I can hold the wheel on the flats even at high speeds, but whenever there's a kicker even of 10-15 meters, I see that people are just pulling away from me. And of course that is partially due to my weight, which is not ideal, but I'm sure there are ways to improve the FTP, the power to weight. Of course, first of all, by decreasing your weight, that will always help, but also to increase power. And we have increased our power already quite a bit. So we are now at about 3 watts per kilo for our FTP, and that was measured with the ramp test, and that has its pros and cons. The pro being that it's a very, very easy test for you to do. There's no pacing strategy. There's also no need to really warm up before, because you start at low enough powers so that the first 5, maybe 10 minutes are easy and you can properly warm up, but then it gets progressively harder, and within essentially 5 minutes you will be done. At least that's the case for me. So one of the negative things was that I didn't read upon how that works, how it calculates the FTP. And when I saw that after some ramps I was putting out more than 300 watts, I was thinking something is off here. So I finished one ramp and stopped, and then saw that it was the best minute multiplied by 0.75, and yeah, then it dawned on me that I actually left some power on the road by not fully committing and trying to squeeze out any last watts that I had in me, simply because I thought something was wrong already with the test. But yeah, now I know, so that won't happen again. And yeah, next time I will definitely do that test to exhaustion, and yeah, we'll see what comes out then. That being said, I do think that it's not quite right if you think that this is the power that you can hold for an hour or even for half an hour, because I don't think that I could. Yeah, I've never really tried it, but like torturing myself like in a time trial for that long, I'm not quite sure if this would work. Anyhow, we'll see how we improve upon those numbers. Okay, let me just get some new music. Oh, we're almost went to zone 3 there for a second, but we didn't. But it was very close. It was at 70%. So any one beat more would have pushed us into zone 3. And it just feels nice if we're able to maintain zone 2 for the whole ride. So let's see what the power was so far. Okay, this is just after downhill where we didn't put any power down, but on average we are at about 120. So we'll see. That will definitely go back up the next time we hit the mountain. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Cherry blossoms. Yeah, very, very nice. Well, somebody much faster than us will zoom by in a second. Try to give him a ride on. There we go. Well done, Mr. or Mrs. Swan. Well done. Yeah, you can tell on the right-hand side that they are doing a workout at the moment, shown by those bars. Yeah, what looks like a bar graph. Oop. Another ride on. And, ooh, that was again very close to get into zone 3. Still managed to stay out of it. Oh, 4.6K left. 4.5, sorry. Where 2 of which are going to be uphill to the Temple KOM. And then there's only one more ride left in Makuri Island. And that is going to be the Spirit Forest. I think this was the closest we have been so far to zone 3 with 135 beats per minute. And here, this is the part that I was talking about earlier. Isn't it gorgeous with those golden leaves? Absolutely love it. So in front of us, we have a friend from Hong Kong who's doing a workout. Maybe he's judging by the power, he's just warming up, or although he's already on the bike for like 20K, I would assume it's a recovery ride. Again, very beautiful. Just about when we are overtaken by Mr. Lange, or De Lange, or De Lang. Yeah, that's perfect. Doing 120, 130 watts. Pulse below 130. RPM between 85 and 90. Perfect. I think it's time. You know what's coming? I think now it happened. Yes. Yeah, the 136 beats per minute for 1 second. And that is the 1 second that we've been in zone 3. Yeah, so there's actually quite a lot of cycling already before you get to the KOM, which makes it a little bit weird, because you think, oh, the KM is like 1.9K, but then you disregard the time before. You know, you've been biking on like 3% slopes or so. Oh, there must have been a race. Nice. There are also some pacemakers, pace partners. Blue, I think, is a C category, riding anywhere between, I think, 2.4 and 3 watts per kilo. All right. About 600 meters to the km. And then we'll just go up the climb one more time. And that should unlock the route badge. And then we are essentially free to do whatever we want, which will most likely be doing the last route that still needs to be completed, the Spirit Forest. Hopefully I will remember to hit that record button. We'll see. All right. Yeah, we are definitely not going to do any best times on this ride. Oh, 12 minutes left in this ride, at least to the KOM. And then maybe another 2 minutes downhill. Also, I noticed yesterday that my watch needs to be charged, and I of course forgot, and now I'm a little bit nervous that I might run out of juice before the last recording, but hopefully it will be fine. All right, another person deserving a ride-on. Which again, if you haven't done so yet, feel free to do the same on YouTube. A little thumbs up goes a long way and makes me very happy. Yeah, now we seem to have reached a point where even with the relatively low power output, we are hitting the border to zone 3, which is at 135 beats per minute. But I guess this is fine because we have been in the saddle for more than 2 hours already. At some point, it's just natural that the numbers run away. Yeah, come to think of it, I think I like the forward better because it's not as deceiving. This one has a lot of vertical meters that are not part of the KOM. As such, you might not count them, but your legs will definitely feel them. All right, 1K left. Oh, nice, a deer to the left. So after this bend, only 3 more bends. Left, right, left. And then we are there. Now we're actually holding 130 quite nicely, while the heart rate is still zone 2. And cadence between 85 and 90. Nice. All right, one more left turn, and then we are on the home stretch. And we certainly deserve this route badge. So our power went down a little bit. Until the arch, we hit an average of 126. There's the route badge. There are our 180 XP points. So now we will just go downhill. We'll just keep some pressure on the pedals here in this rolling terrain. And as soon as it really just goes downhill, we will freewheel. So there we go. From here on out, it should only go downhill. So we'll enjoy that ride down. Excuse me. Okay, as you can see, we are not completely freewheeling. Heart rate is back in zone 2. Ah, hold on. Hasn't quite decided yet. Hovering in between zone 3 and zone 2. All right. So I think you almost bottomed out, which means that we'll stop at kilometer 16, unless it's still going downhill. Okay, so let's see. I guess then we go all the way to kilometer 17, just because easy XP points, and then we'll stop at kilometer 17, change our shirt, and get back on the bike for the last open route on Makuri Island, which is going to be the Spirit Forest. So looking forward to that one. We've already been in the saddle now for almost 2.5 hours, but if there's just one more to go, I guess we should definitely make sure that we get that done. Having a sense of accomplishment, having finished Yorkshire, having finished New York just yesterday, where we also did, I think, 3 or 4 rides, and hopefully today finishing Makuri Island will make us feel good. All right, so I'll just use the power up. But yeah, as always, if you found some value in this video, if you like watching someone just riding different routes on Zwift, giving some commentary about Zwift life, random things, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button. Feel free to comment if there are any things that you like or you don't like. For now, just hope you're having a really, really nice Monday. And never forget, ride hard, have fun, tight cycling. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.